Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going over my 2024 makeup favorites. We're gonna do a full face using all of my favorites. So let's get into it. First, I like to start off with foundation. This is the One Size Turn Up the Base BBB cream. This is honestly the best foundation I've ever used. I'm almost out of it, so I'm just squeezing out the bottom as much as I can. And I normally never buy anything at Sephora, but I had a gift card one time and I bought this and I cannot stop buying it now. I always use a damp beauty blender. This one is from Wet n Wild. These are really the only makeup sponges that I like. I love this as foundation. It's pretty full coverage, but whenever it's blended out, it just looks exactly like your skin. It's also one of the few foundations that doesn't make me look super dry. It also doesn't look cakey if you accidentally put too much. I think this is my third bottle that I've ever went through. I'll definitely be buying it again. And I also have acne prone skin and this has not broken me out. Since I have dry acne prone skin, a lot of foundations tend to cling to my dry patches, especially around my mouth. But this one just looks perfect. It looks exactly like my skin, but better. And that's why I use damp beauty blenders, because if I use a brush or a dry sponge, it just makes my skin super dry. Next, moving on to concealer. I love these ones from Haus Labs. They're Triclone Skin Tech Concealers. They actually gifted me these, so thank you, Haus Labs. They're definitely my new favorite concealers. And I feel like the foundation covered my acne pretty well, so I'm not going to use the dark one. So I'm going to go in with the lighter one under my eyes. I love how thick and creamy this is. And I also haven't had any problems with it creasing. So I just put a little bit on the corner of my eye and then drag it out. I think this is the perfect brightening shade. Add some to the forehead and the chin. I'm gonna use their concealer brush that they sent me. This blends out concealer so well and so fast. I feel like whenever you use a brush, it kind of blends it out better than if you're using a sponge. And that was so fast to blend out. That was like 10 seconds. And this is what the concealer looks like all blended out. It's the best concealer I've ever used. I'm not just saying that because they sent it to me, like I actually really like it. Next we're going in with cream bronzer. This stick is from OG. I do like a lot of their products, but their contour stick is definitely my favorite. Their blush sticks are also really good. But this one is in the shade Copper, and I love this one because it's a very cool tone bronzer, and I hate when bronzers are warm tone and really orange. And you can just swipe it on your cheeks, but I like using it on a brush like this and just kind of dabbing it where I want it. Blends into the foundation better if you use a brush like this. And you have more control of where you're putting the product. I just love this bronzer so much. This is actually the one that I wore for my wedding. It's just the perfect shade. Look how chiseled my cheekbones look. And I would rather look chiseled than be bronzed. I also add some to my forehead. Now for liquid blush, I love using this Cali Ray Blurry Blush in the shade Zen. It's a very peachy tone blush. This formula is also super soft and not too pigmented. I'm just going to use my sponge to blend that in. I like using my sponge to blend liquid blushes in because sometimes they can be a little hard to work with because of how pigmented they are. Having the sponge kind of just soaks up the product and makes it easier to work with. This is just the perfect shade for me. I love peachy blushes. I feel like if you have blue eyes, peachy orangey blushes just look really good. At this step, this is normally where I start doing my eyeshadow. I've had this palette for so long and have just never used it. I don't know why, because it is so good. It's from Profusion Cosmetics and it's their 10 shade smoky palette. These are all the colors that come in there. I probably will never use these purple ones, but all the neutral ones are really good. Taking this light one all over my lid. Next, I'm gonna take this brown shade, also put that all over the lid. Eyeshadows just feel so soft and they're really easy to blend. Next, I'm gonna take this reddish shade and just put that in the outer corner. Kind of want to use this one called Bling. It's like a silver. I'm just gonna apply that with my fingers. Next, moving on to all of the powder stuff. For setting powder and bronzer, I use this Tarte Princess Parquet palette. I've had this for probably like 5 years. Obviously, you can tell which two shades I use every single day. So I'm gonna mix these two setting shades together and kind of go under my eyes to set the concealer, even though it doesn't need to be set because it doesn't really crease. I just like adding it because it makes your skin look so much smoother. And I'm also going to add it to my chin, my forehead. Also keeps you less shiny throughout the day. Now moving on to powder bronzer. I've only been using this one shade in this palette because the other ones are way too pigmented and super dark. Moving on to powder blush. This is the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Powder Blush in the shade Creamy Peach. I did buy this blush with my own money from Sephora. It was $28. Even though it is a really pretty peachy color, it's the perfect shade that I was looking for. I don't think that I would ever spend that much money on just a blush again. And this is kind of a tiny blush for $28. Because I'm sure you could go to the drugstore and find exactly the same shade in something that's like $5. If you add some to your nose, it just gives you the best sun-kissed look. Now for highlighter, I have two that I'm going to show you guys. First one is from Becca Cosmetics. It's just kind of a pinky highlighter, and I love using this on my nose. And on normal days, just like the everyday, I'll use it on my cheeks. But today for the cheeks, we're going to use the Fenty Beauty Diamond Balm. This stuff is so pretty. I love a glittery, chunky highlight. And this is exactly that. Just like wearing glitter. This was also very expensive, way overpriced. I'm sure you can just buy glitter at the drugstore. Now moving on to brows, the only thing I use is this e.l.f. Brow Lift. This is probably my 6th container of this stuff. I love it. And after using this, I don't know if I ever want to try a different brow product. It just keeps your brows in place all day and it doesn't dry white and flaky like a lot of other ones I've tried. And before we do lips and mascara, I'm going to use the setting spray. The one I use right now is the Milani Make It Last. Honestly, I don't know if setting spray even does anything. It just feels nice. And for mascara, I use this L'Oreal Lash Paradise. This has been my favorite mascara for like the past 8 years. Can't even tell you how many tubes I've went through. Just nothing else compares. It's just the best for length and volume. Just look at the difference. And the last step is lips. For lip liner, I use this Rare Beauty Kind Words matte lip liner in the shade Worthy. And I just kind of round out the Cupid's bow. I feel like it makes your lips look bigger. Kind of overline the bottom. And then I kind of just dab it to fill in the rest. This lip liner is so creamy and pigmented. Lasts a really long time. It's just the perfect color. And then for lip gloss, I like using this Haus Labs lip glaze in the shade Honey Shimmer. I like it because there's sparkles in it. And it just feels so hydrating. And the formula also isn't sticky, which I love because a lot of lip glosses are super sticky and really uncomfortable. But this is just so comfortable on the lips and really hydrating. It feels like chapstick. Okay, and this is my finished makeup look using all my makeup favorites from 2024. This is just my signature everyday makeup look. I'll make sure to have everything I use linked down below if you're interested in going and looking at anything. Make sure to comment down below your favorite makeup products from this year. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.